Okay, so the Washington Post says did some fact checking on Jimmy Kimmel's latest monologue about chip funding. Right, the Washington Post says that late night host Jimmy Kimmel on December 11th stepped out of his comedic role and offered a commentary on the reauthorization of the Children's Health Insurance Program after introducing his son Billy, who has a serious heart issue. His presentation was a bit one-sided, and readers requested a fact check. It's often difficult to describe Washington sausage making in shorthand, and Kimmel fell short in several areas, appearing to pin most of the blame on Republicans, even though he was careful not to mention party affiliation. So let's check out some of the clips. So we will hear what Jimmy Kimmel has to say, and then we'll go to what the Washington Post said in regards to their fact checking.
About 1 in 8 children are covered only by CHIP, and it's not controversial. It's not a partisan thing. In fact, the last time funding for CHIP was authorized was in 2015. It passed with a vote of 392 to 337 in the House and 92 to 8 in the Senate. Overwhelmingly, Democrats and Republicans supported it.
So, Washington Post reports that support for CHIP remains bipartisan. Kimmel starts to go off the rails by suggesting that support is no longer bipartisan. The federal fiscal year ends on September 30th, which is why funding technically ran out when CHIP was not reauthorized. But states may continue to spend unspent 2017 allotments and funds from earlier years. Only 3 states and the district were projected to exhaust their funds by the end of December. More than half the states would run out of funds if fiscal year 2018 funding is not set by the end of March. That's the kind of deadline that focuses the attention of lawmakers, right? In any case, the stopgap spending bill approved in early December included a provision that permits the Department of Health and Human Services to shift funds internally to help states whose CHIP programs are running out of money. Congressional leaders are expected to continue negotiating a long-term reauthorization of the programming in the coming weeks.
So there's no danger of this program running out of money.
No.
Okay, we'll see the next one.
Until now. Now CHIP has become a bargaining chip. It's on the back burner while they work out their new tax plans, which means parents of children with cancer and diabetes and heart problems are about to get letters saying their coverage could be cut off next month. Merry Christmas, right?
So, once again, the Washington Post reports that Kimmel falsely suggests that CHIP has become bargaining chip as part of the negotiations over the tax plan. It's actually part of the usual year-end negotiations in Congress. Few lawmakers are really against CHIP. The question is how to fund it. The GOP-led House of Representatives on November 3rd passed the CHIP reauthorization bill by a vote of 242 to 174, with most Democrats voting against it because of funding offsets. In particular, yeah, right. In particular, they objected to shortening the grace period for Obamacare enrollees who fail to make premium payments. House Republicans have complained that Democrats have not countered with their own funding proposals, while Democrats have said offsets should not be necessary when the tax bills will add to the federal budget deficit. They have instead pushed for a clean bill rather than one with poison pills. The Senate Finance Committee in October approved its own version of the CHIP funding extension, but agreement has not been reached on how to fund it. Still, it is quite possible a deal will be reached before Christmas. Merry Christmas. Lawmakers want to leave town before then.
Okay, next clip.
So this happened because Congress, about 72 days ago, failed to approve funding for CHIP. Since the first time since it was created 2 decades ago, this is literally a life and death program for American kids. It's always had bipartisan support, but this year they let the money for it expire while they work on getting tax cuts for their millionaire and billionaire donors.
The very liberal Washington Post says Congress has moved forward on resolving CHIP funding while also pushing forward on tax legislation. While aspects of the legislation are tilted toward the wealthy and corporations, most taxpayers and all income groups, at least initially, will experience a decrease in taxes, according to the Joint Tax Committee. Moreover, one House GOP proposal to fund CHIP would target the wealthy by eliminating a Medicare subsidy for retirees with annual incomes above $500,000.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
The Republican is targeting the rich?
That's what it sounds like.
So here he's talking about specifically there being tax break, that the Congress is more focused on giving tax breaks to the millionaires and billionaires than focusing on the kids and their health.
Yep.
Whereas one Republican actually proposed that we target the rich to pay for this specific program.
Yep.
And on top of that, they're trying to make it seem like Congress has to take things issue by issue, that they can only focus on CHIP right now and no other bills. Well, that's not how you get things done in Congress.
Yep.
There's multiple bills going around at any given time. So they're focused on many different things, which is exactly what they pointed out right there. Okay, next clip.
I don't know about you. I've had enough of this. I don't know what could be more disgusting than putting a tax cut that mostly goes to rich people ahead of the lives of children. Why hasn't CHIP been funded already? If these were potato chips they were taking away from us, we would be marching on Washington with pitchforks and spears right now.
Again, Kimmel's frame of reference is off. CHIP funding is being negotiated even as Congress is debating a tax plan. Both the House and Senate have signaled they support reauthorization for CHIP. The impasses over funding had led to some uncertainty in a handful of states, but there is no immediate crisis. And the recent stopgap funding bill provides flexibility to keep CHIP programs running in states. The bottom line, CHIP is completely unrelated to the tax legislation. In fact, it won't be and was never going to be part of the tax bill. Congress is able to work on several issues at once, and most of the outstanding issues get wrapped up just before important holidays.
So the point here being, if you are an entertainer and a comedian, right?
Yep.
He got drunk on some viral videos, the videos that went viral with his political opinion. He felt that he's a hero now, right?
Yep.
He obviously is being fed the wrong information. I think, number one, he has like crazy leftist writers who's probably writing this stuff for him.
Yep.
And then he uses his child as a prop.
That's the
In his crap.
man, that's
He is literally, no, it's not literal, but it's like diarrhea of the mouth. Okay? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yep.
He has no knowledge on it. He obviously didn't do deep enough research or got this writing from someone else and didn't fact check it himself, right? And he's using his spotlight for issues that he knows nothing about.
Yep.
Because these are I was going to say these are pretty big mistakes. They're not mistakes. It is arrogantly playing to an ignorant audience that follows along with you.
yeah.
Okay? But you need to reevaluate your choice of veering from comedy and trying your hand at political discussions that you are obviously ill-equipped for. Okay?